great power
vengeance.
comes great responsibility.
I bet it feels huge in this hand.
It's on!
On your left.
You are the chosen one!
Iron Man.
You're listening to the Heroes Get Remembered podcast.
And we're clear.
And leave meeting.
And
out.
All right, guys. So, well, this is a good one. This is a long time coming. We've been trying to work on this for 3 weeks since the episode came out, but we're really excited today to have a special guest with us. DJ, thank you for hopping on. This is it's gonna be a good day. I know. So we have finally, all four of us have seen The Batman, and this is it. We're reviewing it 3 weeks later. Go.
What happened in the movie?
I don't remember.
Fuck, man. It's been a long time.
How good is your memory?
We're gonna find out. We are gonna find out.
It blew my mind.
I mean,
man.
I can't forget. There's still like lasting images inside my head. So this was an amazing movie. Not just an amazing Batman movie. It was an amazing movie. Period.
Oh, 100%. And it's exactly how they described it, as like 7 meets like the Batman universe. You know, it is a crime-driven noir-centric murder film, and I was talking about it today. I was like, you know, it's the perfect Batman movie, and people can fight me on it. You know, they'll say The Dark Knight is the best Batman movie, but I think The Batman is the perfect Batman movie. It shows his strengths, it shows his weaknesses, and it brings, you know, a brilliant villain to the screen, which is Paul Dano's Riddler.
I mean, it says it. It's the Batman. You can't compare it. I mean, it was such a great movie, and for it to be seen as just a straight up good movie and not just a good Batman film, I think that says a lot about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a standalone movie. I mean, it actually sets itself apart from all the other Batmans, and going back to the DC comic, which is a detective comic, and it shows him in 2 different lights, which I really love, because it shows him as Batman and just Gotham police just hating on him so hard, and then when he's Bruce Wayne, it's like bow down to him because he's this enigma and he don't want to be. And I like that they're going back to that instead of keeping it like the Playboy philanthropist type of movie.
I do love that scene where like they made sure to like make it stand out, where the one cop, when he's Batman, is like freak, and then when he sees him as Bruce Wayne, it's the same guy who's like, oh my god, it's Bruce Wayne.
Can I get a selfie?
yeah. It was such a good scene to like just go full circle. It was like it was so funny to see him. I laughed out loud. I like hit my buddy. I was sitting next to him in the theater and I hit him. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, and it really
I
had
think
that feel where it needed it.
I especially love. Yeah. Oh, totally. when he's walking into the funeral too, and that guy, he's talking to the guy, and the guy's like, "Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?" And he's just like, "No," and just runs off. But I do like how it plays so much more into Batman and not Bruce Wayne. You know, I think that there's less time out of the suit than was into the suit, so you get to see like a really broad view of what he does on a daily basis and how serious of a tone the entire city's in. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, and we know now that it's in year 2 with the diary whenever it closes, but he's built up a reputation of, you know, once you see that light, if you're doing something bad, you're already looking in the shadows like, man, this guy's out there somewhere. So he's built up a reputation. And the craziest thing is, you know, that he's able to infiltrate with nobody even knowing. He's just, you know, riding his bike through Gotham. And then all he's got to do is switch out. I thought that's the coolest thing.
That was amazing. And like you said, him lurking in the shadows. You never know which shadows he's lurking in. That beginning scene was amazing. Like, to me, just watching all these bad guys doing awful shit, and then all of a sudden they look up, see the light, and they just like stop what they're doing and they look and like wait to see if something comes out of the shadows.
I love when that guy runs out of the middle of the street and just gets like whacked by the car.
Yeah.
He's picking up front.
That's
That was so great.
Like, what boots does this man have? Because you can hear him coming a mile
Oh
away
my
down
God.
his hallway. In numerous scenes too, I was like, these boots.
he secretly has him like Bluetooth to like a speaker on his chest when he's walking. His projects.
It's the same mic that Batflick used.
What are you gonna say, Brandon?
And then just like the different degrees of what people were doing. Like you had people vandalizing what was at the courthouse.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they were vandalizing the courthouse, and they look up and they freak out, drop their cans of spray paint, and run off. And then the guy's like beating the shit out of the dude from the train.
Yeah,
and that brought me back to like playing the Arkham games. Just like the way he beat the shit out of those guys, it was like I was holding the controller. It was like, oh my God, this is like,
I kept
it was
telling
so like you
Josh
could
the same shit. I was like, this is like playing Arkham Asylum. Like, I keep seeing the same things,
the notes,
like bombs that
the notes of different, just like different influences. Like you had the Zodiac influences, you had like the crime movie influences, then you had like the video game influences, and then like there was so much of like the comics. Like the video I was watching earlier, it said like there was notes of the Long Halloween. Is that the comic storyline?
That's what it was loosely based off of.
Yeah, and then you also had like Hush, like influences of Batman Hush.
Yeah.
Just like the noir feel of that. Like this was the noir version of Gotham City. Like Gotham is now destroyed. Basically, I know we'll get to this later, but Gotham is now in ruin. So I'm interested to see how they go forward in this in this storyline.
Let's talk about how beautiful Gotham was too. I think it's the brightest and darkest Gotham we've seen on TV or not, or on big screen, I should say. Man, it felt so much like what I always expected it to be, you know, and especially from the Arkham City and Arkham Knight games, because it was all, I don't know if you guys played those ones at least too. It was bright and bold, but also a sense of grittiness and darkness to it. So I was just in love with the whole cinematography of the whole thing, of the entire movie, and the landscape and feel of the city. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was really beautiful, especially to see like that downtown square with all the TVs and whatnot. It looked exactly like in the comics when he's, you know, riding around and seeing how rough it is in Gotham. You know, it kind of not in the same vein as like Joaquin's Joker, because it was like the dirty parts, you know, like trash piled up and whatnot, but it's still in the same vein of like that dirty Gotham. And then to build that world with it, that progression too, you know, I wanted to go back to that. By the end, when he, you know, he cuts that wire, you know, falls into the that lake, then he goes and he saves the people. That was like his rebirth. Like, now I know why I'm doing this. I have more of a purpose. It's not to scare everybody, but it's to save the people of Gotham, you know. And that scene with the road flare, man, like I get chills just thinking about that. Like that is a visual I've seen before, you know, like I've dreamt that.
Yeah. I think one of the videos I've seen is like, you know, the Batman's leading the city out of darkness. I love that. When there's no power anywhere, you just see a red flare with Batman in the front, and they're leading him out of that trench. So cool.
Talking about cinematic performances, right there is like when the car slipped upside down, and you see.
Oh yeah.
Walking with the fire behind him, it was just, I was like, whoa, now that's an intense scene because you see him coming for you.
Yeah. Even like, myself in that scene, imagining myself as the Penguin, just watching this figure that everybody fears so much in the city. It's so intimidating. And just like you said, with him with the flames behind him, like, dude, that put a pit in my stomach, but also got me super excited.
Yeah, and going into watching it the first time around, knowing that stunt was practical, made it all worthwhile. Knowing that scene exists in cinematic history now.
Yeah.
Because now I got to see it twice. I actually went with DJ this past Sunday and saw it in IMAX, and it was so much better. I love the car. I already told you guys I love the car, but I love it so much more now with the IMAX seats because I felt it. I was in it, man. I was in the car.
I verbally just expressed my love for the car in the theater. As soon as you heard it turn on and the lights flick on, I was like, oh. My wife's sitting next to me. She's like, what the hell was that? I'm like, shut up, okay?
Can we all acknowledge that it sounded like he stalled when he turned on the car? Like, he turned on the car, he revved it, and all of a sudden the car went and it sounded like he stalled out.
I'll be honest, I didn't catch that.
I can imagine him.
That,
him sitting in the car, and he's just like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. And it's like he jumps the gun a little too much, and it's like he's like, oh fuck, god damn it, and just puts it back into gear and goes.
Yeah, it's like the clutch and shit.
That's me in Panama City Beach traffic anyway.
It was such a serious moment. It was such a serious moment, and I didn't catch it until I left the theater and someone else said it. They were like, "Did you notice his car stalled out?" And I was like, "That's what that was." I thought he was just like, I thought he was just like doing that intimidating thing where he steps on the gas and goes a little bit forward and then like hits the brake really hard, like the car jumps at you. But no, it really seemed like the car stalled out.
Actually,
that's funny.
It's when I watched it the second time, because that's one thing I wanted to focus on, because I thought the same thing too. I was like, why would they show him stalling out, man? But no, it looked like it is on purpose. Like it is one of those tactics, like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because the sound of it made it sound like it stalled out for a second.
That's now I'm waiting until it drops on HBO Max to be able to see it again. I would love to go see it in IMAX. That's the only thing I don't have time to actually get there and do it. So I got to wait, but I'll definitely, by that time, I'm going to try to get a sound bar so I can relive the glory of just that beautiful score from Michael Giacchino. And then obviously the sound effects. If that movie doesn't win best music, best sound effects, and best cinematography next year at the Oscars, I'm going to be pissed because that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I will not stop talking about that.
Good. It really, IMAX really put like the cherry on the top for it, like cinematically. But like the sounds, I was thinking through the whole movie, I was like, man, I want this soundtrack. Like, I want this soundtrack to this movie because it's so dope.
I've been a huge fan of Michael's since Lost. He was one of the he was, I think, the only music director and curator for that show at the time. So when I found out that he was going to be doing the sound for the Batman movie, I was all in right away. I knew it would be perfect. I mean, if anybody here has ever watched Lost, or if you haven't watched Lost, I highly recommend go back and watching it, despite what my wife may say in the background here, because she hates it. I love it. I'm watching it again, crying all over. It's a great TV show, but like, again, the sound effects and that, the songs, the music, everything they do is perfect. Now back to the Batman.
We interrupt this podcast to talk about Lost.
Lost. The TV show that's been off the air for 10 years.
I kind of feel like we might have called the ending a little bit. We weren't too necessarily focused on who the villain they would show. And he's gone on record to say that we might not focus on him. But I got to tell you, I forgot that Barry guy was playing him. And when I first heard his voice, I thought,
yeah,
I mean, that's Jared Leto, man. I don't want this. I heard his voice, man. I was like, I don't want it. Take it back.
Take it back. No.
It's hilarious. It's I obviously I didn't see it until I think the Saturday It was probably Saturday opening weekend, so already there were spoilers online. I had a feeling that's who he was playing, and I knew it was going to be just a small little bit, and I'm okay with it. But I'm hoping. I was thinking about this earlier on the drive home from my mother-in-law's. I really hope that the Arkham Asylum TV show they're doing for HBO Max is a play on the Arkham Asylum video game, where they're bringing the Joker into the asylum. You know, maybe he's escaped again, and there's still some plays with Batman in there somehow, but maybe it's him escaping from Arkham or something, and all these other villains are there.
Me too.
I need an Arkham Asylum movie, like just something like that. It was such a great storyline in the video game. To see it live action
and
would
just
be
the
amazing.
sheer amount of villains. If they did only do like a third of the villains from Arkham Asylum, the video game, which if it's going to be a series, you're going to have like an episode dedicated to each villain. But like just the amount, like they had almost every villain in the Batman universe in Arkham Asylum. And if not in Arkham Asylum, they moved to Arkham City or Arkham Knight. And that this movie has opened up so many doors and hyped up so many different projects. I can't wait.
The vehicle is set right now for Victor Zsasz in this world.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was something that was lost in the Nolan verse. Is they had Zaz in the very first movie, and they never brought him back. You know, and the one thing I liked about Nolan verse was that they were able to utilize Scarecrow in certain scenes in each one of the movies. You know, but they could have played upon more of the utilization of the rogues gallery of Batman characters. You know, just little nods at him, stuff like here and there. What I want to see, but what I want to see, and I'm kind of jump off of the Batman arc real quick and just kind of go more towards James Gunn's universe. I want to see James Gunn take on three characters that are completely obscene: Kite Man, Calendar Man, Condiment King. I need to see them live action in the Suicide Squad universe. Maybe Peacemaker season 2, they show up. I need to see that. But yeah, those are 3 Batman characters. I need.
Somebody out there said they wanted to play Condiment King. I just read that the other day.
Like a famous actor?
Yeah, somebody
or because I know.
Somebody said they came out and wanted to do it. I want to say Nicolas Cage said he wanted to do Egghead, but there was somebody else out there.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
And I thought, you know what?
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, bring Nick Cage into the DC universe, but give him to James Gunn though. I think James Gunn could direct Nicolas Cage to be an amazing character. You know what I mean?
I just looked it up. James Gunn explains why he didn't pick Condiment King for Suicide Squad. So it was an option for Suicide Squad.
And he went with Polka Dot Man instead.
Yeah. So it's insane that was even an option for Suicide Squad. They probably couldn't find someone to want to play him. But I mean, the door's still open. He acknowledged him. So
I don't have a casting for Calendar Man or Condiment King, but my casting for those 3 I said earlier for Kite Man would be Michael Rosenbaum. I think he would do an amazing job as Kite Man.
Go from
Lex Luthor, the best Lex Luthor ever, to Condiment King. I think it'd be perfect. And it shows his comedic roles too, because he's a very funny guy if you're listening to his podcast or anything. Yeah.
I like the way that what's his name? The one that plays Polka Dot Man, Dustin Desmauchen. Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
He's the one that played.
But I loved his character.
Well, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like he was on The Dark Knight as well. He played that one Arkham inmate.
He played the crazy guy in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Well, he said he would actually. I said would have played it. But
I think he would have. He would have fit the role either way.
He voiced him in The Long Halloween. That's what I meant to say.
He
In the-
voiced
in
Condiment
the-
King or Calendar Man?
No, Calendar Man. Yeah. In the
Oh,
Long
okay.
Halloween.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I mean, I know it would be hard to see him bald and whatnot, but he played him so perfectly, like vocally. But I honestly, I thought it was Billy Crudup, so I would say Billy Crudup because he's already played Doctor Manhattan in Watchmen, so he could play perfectly bald.
Yeah. I don't know.
And
Condiment
he's
King
creepy
is a
enough,
character.
like in The Watch. Have you watched that one?
Yeah.
He was pretty
Or
creepy.
Calendar Man. Was he? I never watched. I never seen The Watch.
Oh, it's so good. I love Ben Stiller.
Was that with Is that with Vince Vaughn and Jonah?
Yeah,
Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a good Condiment King right there. Not Condiment King, Calendar Man. Vince Vaughn. I think he would kill it.
I
don't know.
I think
He's
like a Terry Crews is good for that spot.
Terry Crews. Hell
Terry
yeah.
Crews. Just
Okay.
Calendar
Maybe
Man
it's
with
like
fucking
that
dates on his
comment.
titties and
I'm here for it. Yeah.
I feel like
Sign me up for the next Suicide Squad.
Vince Vaughn would be more like Solomon Grundy.
Oh my god.
Uh,
The voice.
yeah.
Yeah, he's proven
That's
to do
so-
it all, man.
So who do we want to see in as villains for the Batman movie or the Batman, like the Matt Reeves Batman universe? Who would we like to see serious tone? I mean, go. Who do you want to see?
So I want to stay away from Scarecrow, because the Dark Knight trilogy, my favorite Scarecrow. And then what was it? Titans did their take on Scarecrow, and that was a terrifying Scarecrow. So I want to move away from Scarecrow because I believe he is one of the, like, he was in every single Dark Knight movie. So let's move away from Scarecrow. I think we can, like, I mean, unless they have, in the Arkham TV show, have at it. He's essential to the Arkham storyline. But I'd like to see, because I don't think Two-Face got a fair shake in the Dark Knight movie. I love that they did the origin story. I am a little bummed out that he had, like, not even half a movie. So Two-Face needs a fair shake. I don't want to see. I would love Joker, but I don't want to see another Joker.
Yeah.
I feel like Joker would thrive in this universe, but I don't think we need another Joker. I would like to see I'd love to see Firefly.
I don't think we're gonna get Firefly, but I agree with you there.
This is the time we need the big dark like villains. So I would love. I think I already spoke out on the preview episode. I want
Which
a
didn't
Court of
air
Owls
because it was messed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want a Court of Owls. I want a Hush. Those are the two storylines that I would love. And now, after watching the movie and seeing how Riddler slandered the Wayne's name, and the Waynes weren't really the good people that everybody thought they were. The theory I heard about the Waynes, where the Waynes were originally part of the Court of Owls. So seeing Bruce have to figure that out and then have to deal with the fact that his parents were part of the secret organization that ran Gotham into the ground.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a cool way to end the trilogy. So my two choices: Hush and Court of Owls. And I would like to see Court of Owls be a 2-part finale. So
I thought you were going to add another one there because you were like, my two.
Everyone that's ever
You're
been,
like, and what?
we want. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the Rogues Gallery? I'm going down the line now. Yeah,
Tag Matt
I agree
Reeves
with you with
right
Court of Owls
now.
too.
TikTok this Matt Reeves. Brandon wants every single villain. Every
my
single
top
one.
two. My top two is every villain who's ever been in a Batman comic.
Wow.
Oh man. What about you guys?
DJ, you go next.
Well, being the female on this group, I guess I have to go with my number one pick, which is Poison Ivy. I really want to see Poison Ivy come into this noir setup that they've got. I think she would be really dope in this scene. But also, I kind of want to see Wrath. I'm just interested to see who they could cast for that and see what it actually would, because I haven't seen that yet in any of the movies. So I really kind of want to see that play out, because those were the comic books that I got into when I was reading Batman comics. So it'd be really dope to see both of those, either one of those.
I would love to see Poison Ivy in this, almost as like a someone who utilizes the like toxic plant to her advantage, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think on our episode that we didn't get to air, I'm more into like the fantabulous lifestyle of the comic book. So things that are extravagant, things that are just ridiculous.
Mhm.
So I mean, if you think about it, Poison Ivy, kind of a crazy character, right? She controls plants and stuff. But Matt Reeves could definitely kick that out of the park there, and that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see cinematically too. It would be really great to see what they could do with that, because I mean, most of what she botanically grows is beautiful anyways. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see that on the screen.
Oh yeah. Josh, what about you?
First off, I don't know how this film is not rated R. All right, because Thumb Drive, that was pretty damn brutal, and I loved it. I'm on board for it. So to push
that was so good.
And he said that they didn't even have to cut anything, which is surprising. So that they can push the envelope like that. You know, my money is on Clayface. I want Clayface so bad.
Oh yeah.
But I did
yes.
come up with Victor Zsasz, and Victor Zsasz fits in this universe. This is his sequel. Like his
Okay. I think what will be really cool. So I agree with Brandon, because Quarter Owls would make a great movie, but we need more than just 3 Matt Reeves movies. So maybe if we even just do a Quarter Owls TV show, a six episode miniseries, I think that will work really well. I think a lot of these characters do need to come up in the Arkham Asylum TV show, and maybe the Penguin TV show as well. But my picks for a sequel. Let's see. Now I'm on the fence. I don't know. Wow. I just went blank. I had it all too. I had it all, and then I went blank.
Here.
It's bad.
How about this?
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I think I got to go with maybe 3 instead of 2 villains. I definitely think Two-Face, maybe an already established Two-Face in the area. Maybe he comes up during the Penguin TV series and he's making his big debut on screen, that sort of thing. Joker being a sideline character is what I want to see. I don't want to see him. I'd rather have him like poking around, popping up places, than being like a major villain, a major, like part of the movies. Firefly would be really cool too. But we're getting him in the Batgirl TV show, so I don't know how well we could do that. And Clayface, it was one of my all-time favorites from the animated series, and I think a really cool dark Clayface built like Sonic will do well. But I gotta go with Mr. Freeze in the end.
Get a Mr. Freeze redemption.
Mr. Freeze redemption, not so punny Mr. Freeze.
Nice to see you.
I used to see you. Stay cool, bird boy. It's just
chill.
Chill. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Just so bad. Oh man. But no, I think yeah, like the Mr. Freeze storyline we got in New 52 showing him like living in the Arctic with polar bears and stuff. I think it was kind of cool. Put a nice little spin on it. Mr. Freeze in the second movie, playing into other villains as well, will be really, really badass.
I can definitely see this second movie not just focusing on one villain, like having one villain as the overarching like storyline, but seeing him like going through his rogues gallery.
Yeah, like almost like the trailer for Arkham Knight. I don't know if you guys remember that, but how the city is just gone to shit. There's open violence in the streets, and you have, I can't remember exact. I think it was Riddler. No, I'm sorry. It was Penguin, Two-Face, Harley in the streets shooting up the cops and stuff. Like that would be that's my vision. Just to see something like that on screen. That's so cool.
I can almost guarantee we will not get a Harley Quinn.
I don't know. We could get a Harleen Quinzel inside of Arkham Asylum.
I could see that, but yeah. I can almost guarantee that James Gunn has the corner, like he has that cornerstoned. He will not allow
multiverse,
anybody else. I don't know. I would love to be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna get a Harley Quinn. But with the casting, I do believe Matt Reeves gets an A+ for casting, because Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and I think he would do great casting Poison Ivy and also a Harleen Quinzel.
Yeah, my wife went home that night and she had dreams about Catwoman, so she agrees.
Nice. Can we get her on next time?
So did you guys role play that night? You were Batman, she was Catwoman?
No, the other way around.
That makes more sense. I could see Paige like,
yeah, she's the one coming in there going, I'm vengeance.
Meow.
There we go. That's Dom's new catchphrase for the series. Meow.
Another thing I made a connection with is with the game is when they have to go to the orphanage.
Yeah, that was the orphanage was attached to Arkham Asylum in the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with like Riddler's quest.
Yeah.
What you call it?
Yeah, that was great.
And that's the first thing I thought whenever they go to the orphanage and he finds out that, they're going after Bruce Wayne,
Yeah. I love that they didn't shy away from the camping, not really campiness, but more of, I guess, the riddles in general. I felt like they were ridiculous at some points and still pretty difficult to try to figure out. Like the rat with wings line. Immediately my mind went, he's talking about Batman. But in the end, for it to come out talking about Carmine Falcone, I was like, oh, I didn't really, I would never made that connection. I would have died. That's awesome.
Yeah, because the first thing you think of when people say rats with wings, it's either seagulls or bats. And
yeah, what were you gonna say, Josh?
No, I was just gonna say that was great the way they set that up. But no, I was, when he said pigeon, that's what I was going with, and I was like, but there's no pigeons. But I was also thinking Man Bat too. I was like, man, that'd be sick as hell to see Man Bat flying around all of a sudden.
I think that would be a real possibility of getting a Man Bat, especially in this universe. At least as like an opening sequence villain, like how Scarecrow was the opening sequence villain in Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
So like I could see Man Bat like all of a sudden Batman flying around, and then like you're like, what's he chasing? And then all of a sudden it's fucking Man Bat.
I would love to see them play more into how they did this one too, where Riddler was our biggest adversary throughout the entire movie, but he also took on Carmine Falcone, he took on the Penguin, and he in some sense took on Catwoman too at one point.
Yeah. And
they intertwine everybody's storyline so well that no other movie has done before. Really, the only villain, let's say, let's take The Dark Knight, for instance, right? It was heavily based with the Joker, the entire movie, right? We had a little touch on the Scarecrow in the beginning. At the very end, we had some Two-Face. The entirety was all Joker. Batman, or I'm sorry, Batman Begins. We had a little small scene. We had Joe Chill, Victor Saz, and then Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul. You know, and they won't see you put them like chapters in a book. I thought that one did really well, but this one had it where it kind of like shows how Batman goes in and out of each one in a sense of like how having to deal with every single one, you know, multitasking, if you will. So I love that, and I want to see them continue doing that.
Can we touch upon this is the world's greatest?
I don't want to touch anything.
Come on, touch me, Dom.
That is incest at the max, dude. No.
This is the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, and Gordon says it in the movie.
The eye, the contact lens. Like, first of all,
Detective
very
mode.
unsanitary. Very unsanitary. He gave it to Catwoman. Like,
maybe he has multiples.
I don't think so. He was like, "Here, let me give you this," and fucking went and like, "Come on, stop blinking."
Also, how many times was he creeping in on her when she had that contact in?
Oh my god!
Right?
I
mean, like,
that was stalker status.
Exactly. There's literally the I call it the back creep scene where he's sitting out there with the binoculars, watching her getting changed into the Catwoman costume. I'm like, look at this perv over here. I'm like, you know,
how else was he supposed to find out she was Catwoman?
I also want
I
to
mean,
say,
technically,
like,
he did the same thing in A Mask of Phantasm when what's her name comes back into town. He's sitting out there in the pouring rain with binoculars while she's on a date with that other lawyer guy.
True. What were you gonna say, DJ?
The Batcave was really, I thought they did a really good job with doing the Batcave because it wasn't real high tech until you got down into it, kind of like Arkham Asylum back to the game. You know, it was very much concentrated in like an actual cave. It felt very dark and all the bats, and I really love that scene whenever you come into it because it was like, oh crap, this is like when you were in the game. Playing Arkham Asylum, and you're like, oh, this is the real Batcave.
I love that it's like in the heart of Gotham too, if you would. It's almost like Gotham's it's like Gotham's Central Park of Gotham, you know, and it's accessible by an abandoned train tunnel, which, if I'm not mistaken, I could be imagining this, but did he not have a false wall there that drops for him to go through? He did, right? Okay. Thought I was imagining that. So it's so cool. I mean, that right there is like, I mean, it's classic Batman. Almost, it's like even nods to 66 Batman, you know, back in the day where he would just drive out of the side of a cliff and ride into town. So that was awesome.
It was right under Wayne Tower, wasn't it?
So that's my only concern, I think. And obviously Batman has the technology and security to make sure this wouldn't happen. But abandoned buildings is kind of like, it's a fad, I guess. Like, people like to explore abandoned buildings, abandoned tunnels and stuff. So my only thing I wasn't quite too convinced about is the fact that it was a previous train system. Someone would want to, you know, some way or another would try to wander into
You're concerned about squatters.
Exactly. Those damn homeless people.
Maybe that's how he's going to get Robin.
Could. I mean, that's how you could get a Tim Drake Robin that way.
That's why. So
he needs a Ring doorbell. That's really what he needs right now.
Where he just like every time someone gets near it, he's just like.
Well, that's where Ace the Bat Hound comes in.
Yeah.
Just put him up front.
Or no, it's just Alfred. Like, please go the fuck away. So
I feel like we're I got my first Easter egg in a film ever. In the scene when he finds out that they're going after Bruce Wayne in the orphanage, and it shows Alfred in the room, you see that bust from the Adam West version.
Yeah, with like the little, when you push it back and yeah,
and then the door would open and he could slide down.
Yeah.
My theory is he uses that now that the room is blown open as a way for him to get,
That'd be cool.
another access to, like build a bat cave beneath Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
If he's in town when he's doing these runs, I feel like that's the theory of mine. When I saw that, I was like, perfect time to upgrade, perfect time to have that bus to go clink and then go down.
Summering under the Wayne Manor.
That would be extremely surprising for Matt Reeves to go like the extreme campy route. He's like, "Let's go, Robin," and then like pushes it back, click.
Yeah, slide down the pole, boom, fully closed.
Yeah, and then they slide down, and then the camera's like following them, and the camera passes by a solid wall, and then when you see them again, they're in the suits.
No, it should look more like Casper, in the seat. And those things came out, start powdering face and shit, but more like putting their clothes on for him like that.
Well, Dom, you just said it a little bit ago. This is how we could get a Tim Drake Robin.
Yeah.
We saw, for those of you who have seen Titans,
yep,
Tim Drake from Titans was in the Batman.
He was.
So he was the kid in the beginning who had the half skeleton face. He played Tim Drake in Titans.
Yeah, this past season of Titans, he played
Tim Drake
a version of Tim.
Tim Drake being Robin number 3, and also Red Robin.
Brandon's favorite.
My favorite. Robin.
Brandon simps for him.
So it would be very cool to get because if we're only going to get 3 Matt Reeves movies, or like a trilogy, depending on if we get a 2-part third movie, so we only have time for one Robin, if any.
This Robin.
It's most likely going to be Dick.
It's this Robin. It's the better Robin.
It's most like.
And I'll tell you what. I am the one Nightwing fan that would prefer this suit popping up in a movie, and I'd probably get a lot of shit for it, but give me the black and red Nightwing suit. That would be so cool.
I think I think we would get like we might get the black and blue if we do get a Nightwing.
Let's get the Nightwing disco suit. There we go.
Oh my God, no!
That would be amazing.
Oh my God, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Teen Titans use that suit.
You guys know what the disco suit is? Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh looks a little confused. I don't think he knows what the disco suit is.
Well, no, I was thinking of something else. But,
This is the guy you'd want to save you.
There it is. I was pulling up the same one.
The
Good
worst
old disco
Nightwing suit.
Oh, you want the pop in the collar kind.
Now, Dom, this is what you looked like at the beginning of the episode.
Dude, don't say that. You're giving me a complex, man. And my complex is I want to be Dick Grayson. I've always wanted to be him. You know that.
I know.
You want to
That is Gotham's ass right there. You see that?
That is
beautiful.
That is Gotham's ass.
I have a lot of like Nightwing photos on my phone because I want to save them and put them as my background, but I don't want to do that at the same time because my wife and I are my background. I'm like, I think I'll get in trouble.
But for real,
is this the first time they've ever mentioned Bloodhaven?
In a Batman film, yes. And I think that's why I'm so I'm pushy on getting Dick Grayson in the role because I would love to see him almost like show up a few years younger than Robert Pattinson and become Nightwing right away, you know?
That would be ideal because we're not going to get a full on like how we had that time difference in movies between you had the Dark Knight and then you had Dark Knight Rises. There was like that. We're not going to get that. We might get a couple of years in between the Batman and the Batman 2. So I don't know if we're going to be able to fit like a Robin to Nightwing unless we get like a 12-year-old Robin, and like 5 years late, say the next movie is 5 years later, he's already been through Robin, and we automatically just get Nightwing, like a disgruntled Nightwing by time the second movie comes out.
I just don't want to. I want a Robin in this, but I don't want a 12-year-old Robin. I think in Matt Reeves' universe, a 12-year-old will get murdered immediately on the streets.
Well,
and
death in
he
the
doesn't
family.
have much protection.
Death in the family.
Well, no, so that's where I'm saying that, like, maybe we can get like a quick movie or two, or even just a TV series of the Batman where he's building an army. Maybe Alfred's like, hey, you can't do this on your own, and maybe Dick's already operating as Robin out there without, if you guys are reading the Batman '89 book at all, in Batman '89, Robin is already kind of established without Batman, and it's I want to say it's a version of Tim Drake. It's the same Robin that they were originally going to use for the sequel to Batman Returns, if Tim Burton continued with the franchise. But I would love to see something like that where he's like, okay, it's someone already out there doing his thing, and then Batman comes along, it's like, hey, you can't do this on your own. You got to come with me. Takes him on, and then, okay, I can't. I don't want to work with you anymore. I want to become that one. Something along those lines.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I just don't think the traditional Dick Grayson story arc is appropriate for his idea of the Batman.
Yeah. But I mean, if we do get an established Robin, who automatically, like right off the bat, as soon as the second movie starts, we have a disgruntled Robin who became Nightwing, we could get Under the Red Hood in movie form, because in Under the Red Hood we had Nightwing, who he wasn't working with Batman actively. He was Batman just showed up to help him, and then was like, hey, we should work together. And it was kind of like that. I already went through that. I don't want to go through it again. I'm going to do this on my own. And then Red Hood comes in, and you get that whole storyline. That would be really cool. But I mean, we've talked villains. I think we should talk. We've kind of already touched on this with the Robin thing, but what other heroes would you want to see in this franchise?
I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see Superman, nothing like that.
Well, I wasn't thinking Superman, because I really.
Oh, you meant more like Batgirl or something?
Yeah,
like
if you could see, like, I want to see a live action Green Arrow in a Batman movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a smaller time, like Justice League member, because we've seen the Batman and Superman, we've seen the Batman and Robin, but I want to see, like, I love the Dark Knight Returns, right? Dark Knight Returns is where Green Arrow is missing the arm.
Was he missing an arm in that? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did he use his foot, or was that the one that used his teeth to draw the arrow? I
think he did both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just like, I love Green Arrow, and Green Arrow is like the mirror version of Bruce Wayne. Like, I think he's two dead parents away from becoming Batman. He lost one parent. If he lost both parents, he would be Batman.
I think you're mistaking Arrow for Green Arrow's true origin, because he did lose his parents.
Oh, he did lose his parents?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, either way, it's still an origin story where it's still, him losing his parents and becoming a vigilante of some sort. Yeah. I totally agree with you. I mean, Green Arrow is one of my favorites. I think he'd be great. And I mean, I have Roy Harper sitting on my shelf right next to Dick Grayson up there. So can you imagine just the two of them popping up in a movie together with Dick and Bruce? That would be, I mean, that's a fanboy's dream right there. That's my fanboy dream. I would like to see
really a lot of substance here for it, though, if you think about it, because at the end, Lena's on her way to Bloodhaven, so she
Yeah.
could stumble onto anyone. And the way that we've ended the relationship between Batman and Catwoman in the end there, Batman actually realizes he could use some help out there, and I
Yeah.
think we've got the most badass Alfred out there. We've confirmed that not he was a bodyguard, like he was hands on back in the day.
Yeah.
Actually he said he trained Batman, and I believe that your theory could hold some water there, which is like, Bruce, you can't possibly take this on by yourself. Now you've really got to,
Especially
Build
with
the
the
Bat
state,
family.
especially with the
I
state
think it's
of
a really good
Gotham.
way to expedite it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and right there we're saying expedite the Bat family a little bit. Can you imagine having a movie where it's like he has an army, right? He has Dick, Jason, Tim, maybe Stephanie, Barbara, like a group of people who he kind of scouted out and brought them together, and maybe it's just Dick, Tim, Jason, and Barbara. So we're getting a death of the family kind of story arc, and we kill off Jason. That could be the casualty of war. That'd be kind of cool. And then Jason comes back and then becomes the Red Hood and starts fucking people up.
And see the way that they did the contacts thing, I already automatically thought this is a great way to introduce the Oracle.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. I want to see Huntress.
That's a great way, because now that we're establishing the relationship with Gordon and Batman, like by the end of this film, you can totally feel that it's solidified. Like Gordon's got the trust in Batman and vice versa, whereas, it was still kind of like he was on the fence a little bit, but he had a lot more going for Batman than against him. And then especially like when he told him, was like, punch me in the face.
It was perfect.
I was waiting for it too. I was like, he is going to catch you off guard. You don't know what you asked for, Gordon.
Yep. What about you, DJ?
I want to also see the Huntress, but I also want to see Vicky Vale. Like,
Oh, okay.
Either one of those would be really dope to see.
Who'd you like to see play Vicky?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I'd have to put a little bit of thought into that one, because there's a couple. I mean, I don't want to say a Jennifer Lawrence type, but maybe something along those lines.
Shailene Woodley.
That would be a good one.
Or hold on, because I forgot her name.
Can't tell us to hold on if you forgot her name.
Okay, so Vicky Vale, Kristen Stewart, bring them back. Bring them back together.
Bring the Twilight cast.
Bring the Twilight cast back together.
You know what?
I'm here for it.
Okay. But she needs to go through about like 4 years of acting classes.
Either Vicky Vale or bring her in as Poison Ivy.
That would be
No,
cool.
I don't want to see her. No Poison Ivy. I'll go with Vicky Vale for that. I'll even maybe go for Huntress for that role. But I think that too could bring some bad publicity to the Batman universe, just because of there's a lot of haters out there of the Twitter or Twilight stuff. I hated Twilight, so I'm definitely one of them.
I hated it as well, but I love that Robert Pattinson trashed Twilight after it was done.
Yeah.
He very publicly trashed it.
I got kicked out of the theater after 10 minutes of seeing Twilight when it first came out. I was laughing too hard at how.
Why did you go see Twilight?
I mean, I was with friends. They're like, "Hey, let's go see Twilight." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." And then I literally, like, within 10 minutes, I'm laughing so hard that I had an usher come up and be like, "Hey, can you please leave?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. I gladly I will leave. Thank you."
I read the books. That was what I and then I went to go see the movies, and I was like, Kristen Stewart has like one facial expression through the entire. I was kind of bored to begin with.
It's straight up Kristen Stewart smelling Robert Pattinson's fart through the entire series.
Exactly.
With subtle gasps every once in a while, a little.
She wanted to taste it. That's why.
But I think you're right. It would overshadow what Robert Pattinson's already put into this movie that he's got going on here. So, but
Yeah.
it would definitely be a really great like side hustle kind of deal.
Yeah. You know who? You know what? Speaking of Huntress, and maybe actually, I don't know if this might not work out, but Florence Pugh. Anybody, from what was it?
I think you
Black
mispronounced
Widow?
Peppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here. No, from Black Widow. I think she could play pretty cool Huntress, maybe even Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Give her more of a European background instead of her being like an American scientist, maybe European scientist, nice accent. I think that'd be really cool. She's a fantastic actress.
Now, since we have a black Commissioner Gordon, Zazie Beetz the girl who played Domino as Barbara Gordon.
Okay. She was also in Joker, wasn't she?
Totally see
Yes, she
her
was.
playing
Yeah.
like a paraplegic Oracle, too. I could really see that.
Yeah, but I was thinking more like I don't think we'll have time because like Killing Joke is one of my favorite storylines. And you can't just gloss over that. So I think we just like overshadow the Oracle stage of I think we'd go Oracle as in the like how Titans did it, where Oracle is just a computer program. It's an AI that Barbara Gordon does have control of, but I think we would just like I think we just gloss over the whole Killing Joke portion of it and just have Batwoman Barbara Gordon.
Not necessarily, like you said. If we don't focus too much on the Joker, we can have him pop in and do the deed. It'd be part of the storyline, whether it be in the Arkham show or in the movie.
I think we can get our best Joker from Arkham, instead of doing a movie, because he's a complex character, even just like Batman. Needs a lot of screen time. So maybe putting him in the Arkham TV show, or even Penguin's TV show, could spark some real love for this new Joker. I know there's a lot of animosity out there because of because of Heath Ledger's fantastic performance, and then Jared Leto's lackluster performance, which I'm in the minority. I loved Jared Leto's Joker, especially the Schneider Cuts version, which was a whole nother topic. I think that you could see Joker really excel in something like Arkham Asylum, and see how how deceptive he is to his peers and other villains.
Now, Martha Wayne, her maiden name was Arkham. Is that a canon thing from comic books, or was this just created for the Reeves universe?
I don't know how recent. I think I'll have to look it up. I don't know when they decided to make it canon that she was an Arkham originally. I'm gonna look that up because I don't know. I know it was something that was a part of the Arkham Asylum games, because they talked about the history of Arkham Asylum and how the Arkhams and the Waynes came together and stuff. I just don't know at what point they made it canon in general. So I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I say they did a pretty good job with the first Batman game too.
Yeah.
With like when you would find those little crypts, you have to scan it.
Yeah.
More about Martha Wayne.
But yeah, just the whole detective mode in the movie was great. I mean, we got a portion of it in The Dark Knight, where the lenses came down and he just like scanned the room. That was pretty cool. But just him being able to record all of his encounters and then just go home and review it and write it in his little journal, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that's also going to play into the next one, because it's like we're going to see him upgrade his suit, like when he took flight and he hit the bridge and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's made a mental note of that. He's like, that sucked. I'm gonna make sure that never happens again.
So this suit
is how I'm gonna improve it.
Yeah, this suit, it reminded me a lot of the video game suit where he got all those upgrades and like he looked more armored as the game progressed. But like him in the movie starting out with this, just like he could take a shotgun blast and yeah, it knocked him out for a little bit. It took the wind out of him, but just like being able to survive something like that. Whereas in The Dark Knight, he was attacked by a dog and had to fucking stitch himself up. So I mean, this is a much more advanced suit. I think it's other than Batfleck's suit.
It's a big dog.
other than the Batfleck suit, the Superman, like the Superman suit that he was supposed to use, or that he did use. This is more advanced, like maybe not as far as that, but this is like an everyday. I can take a bunch of gunshots to this suit.
So real quick, just touching upon the Martha Wayne name. Originally, Martha's last name was Kane, named after Bob Kane. You know, also she was at that point in the original storyline, she was the heir to the Kane chemical fortune, and also related to Kate Kane, who is Batwoman. And this is where I couldn't remember where it popped up, but the graphic novel Batman Earth One, which I did do a comic book corner on, that's where it was from. That's when they officially changed it from Kane to Arkham, and she was a descendant from the Arkham Asylum or the Arkham bloodline, which is really cool. So there you go.
I love this. Yes, because Batwoman is Bruce's cousin. Correct?
No. Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce's cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the TV show, I know the original Batwoman is Bruce's cousin.
Yes.
They touched upon that in Crisis. What was it? Was it Crisis on Infinite Earths?
I think so. I think that's when they. Well, I mean, it's just the show in general, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that explains that. And but yeah, now that
we're all in agreement that was Venom.
I go back and forth, man. I don't know.
I wanted to say it was just adrenaline, but
so
yeah,
I think we talked about this a little bit, and I think it's what Venom's going to become. I think Venom may be a street level steroid that people take to boost, to boost their adrenaline and everything. And Bane might, or somebody might alter it to make it 5 times more effective. And that's what Bane gets a hold of. And that's the Venom we all know. Because it looks just like Venom.
So that could be another possible opening scene for the next movie, him tracking down Bane. Yeah. Like, I don't think Bane is going to be a major character because The Dark Knight Return or The Dark Knight Rises did a whole Bane thing, but we could finally get like, what was it? Batman Forever?
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Okay. So we had that Bane. I think with like today's technology and CGI and shit, we could have that kind of Bane, but look way better.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, see, and yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was just like it was basically adrenaline to me, and that was a good way to open up in the next one to be like, him narrating and being like, the stuff I used to keep myself conscious and fight and whatnot has been monopolized and turned into a drug, and it's called Venom now. That's a good segue into it. Like, now we have drop heads. Now we've got these Venom heads or some shit like that. But I honestly thought there's a part of me went like, is he taking a whole hit of drops right there to the leg? Because I was like, damn, drop hit.
There's actually there's a storyline that Batman gets addicted to Venom, which could be a pretty cool, maybe second movie.
Well, I feel like that makes it more human too, like what we're getting out of this too. It's like he's gonna have vices just as much as anybody else, and like like I felt like the Long Halloween did a really good portrayal of Poison Ivy and how seductive she can be, or her plants can be, and put anybody under a spell. So I really feel like there's so much more to explore even in that route.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a nod to Poison Ivy too when she put on the red wig. When she went back down there and she put the red wig on, she had a different wig. And I kind of felt like for a second there, I was like, that's a little nod to me, I thought.
I don't know if that's more of a not, because I think that's just Selena being Selena. She's a character that has many different faces and different personalities, and I think that's what they were going for in that, where she could change out her hairstyle to meet the demand of where she's going to be infiltrating at that time. So, I mean, maybe that was something Matt Reeves was doing in the background. Just me personally,
it's like a little I thought, because I just thought it was weird that she had that one long wig, and then she came back in with that one. I was like, but why red? That's what kept sticking with me.
Yeah.
All right. So, favorite thing from the movie, and then I'm thinking we should wrap this up.
I would have to say the ending, the No Man's Land Easter egg with the seawall breaking and Gotham flooding. I've always wanted to see a No Man's Land. We kind of got that with Dark Knight Rises, but not to that level that we got in this movie. And I think that, like we touched upon earlier, it could be a nice gateway to an overall Arkham City, Arkham Knight movie story arc, where you have like part of the city, the old GC building or GCPD building that's flooded and it's turned into like Freeze's hideout or something,
I'll go. One, I just want to say I didn't look at the cast list before I went to go watch the movie because I kind of wanted to just be, and I didn't know that Colin Farrell was playing the Penguin. That man did a great job. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think that he gets enough credit for the job that he did in that movie. But my favorite scene is when towards the end when Selena and Bruce are on their bikes and they're both driving parallel to each other down the road and stuff, and they get to the end of the alley and you see her take one way and him take the other. It was kind of a great nod to them because all the other movies, they seem to be very just head on at each other, where in this movie they work together, and that was kind of great, like wrap up to them a little bit. I really liked that scene.
Yeah, it almost shows too, like a nice parallel of how they traditionally always were. They would come together and then split up. Like they live a life of different paths. So I totally agree with you there.
They would gain what they could from each other and then go their separate ways.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? What was your favorite part?
Man, I got to tell you, ever since when I was watching the Tim Burton ones, it's always been the car for me. I was anticipating the car ever since they showed it. I'm like, I'm ready to see the car. It comes with the coolest scene, the coolest practical scene, and then my favorite part when they do catch the Penguin and whatnot, and they realize that they've made the mistake, and they leave him chained up, right? And he's like, "You goddamn sons of bitches!" I die every time.
Yeah.
But that, and then when DJ, when you said about the ending, that final shot when he looks back and then he keeps driving, just his eyes. I'm looking at Robert Pattinson's eyes, and I'm like, "This is Batman. This is Batman."
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
That's it for me.
I mean, this is the best opening sequence of a Batman movie, I think, ever. Just like showing the bat symbol and just people showing how scared they were of just a little light in the sky, and then just them looking down the darkness in their area and like just waiting, and then all of a sudden the guys get off the train, they're bullying that guy, and then all of a sudden you just hear thud, 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 and like him walking out. I could like I could remember myself in the theater just like, oh, because I couldn't believe this is what we were getting. And then just like the way the strategy he had beating the shit out of those guys. And you could still see like when they came back, they hit him, and like you could see his reaction, but he would just like get back to it and throwing elbows, breaking arms. It was just that set the tone for the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember being this excited in a Batman movie, in any movie in that case.
They the way they shot that, it reminded me so much of the way they shot Batman Forever when in the beginning when he's fighting Two-Face's thugs. It was kind of offset, and you just see him, sparring with everybody. It's such a great scene. But yeah, when I was in the theater and he said the "I'm vengeance" part, I went, "Woo!" I was the only one to do that, and I had everybody laughing. But I was like, man, that was intense. Like seeing it in the trailer was one thing, but then to see it all play out and see what was going to happen next it's like that was icing on the cake for him to come out and do that, and it really shows to play on the light thing. We're just like everybody's like, he could be right there, and I just robbed the store.
Yeah. The whole like he played on the Batman animated series, like the "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman." I love that.
Yeah.
Was there anything in this film that you nitpicked anything at all? No?
Nothing. No. Again, I also only seen it once, so maybe I'll watch it again and I'll come back with that answer. But right now, no.
Got something.
He only had one batarang, and it was attached to his chest.
Yeah.
That wasn't a batarang.
It was okay. I get that, but I was like, "There's a reason he's not throwing it. He's only got one. He's got to go fucking get it if he throws it."
I think he's gonna go get it anyway.
Like,
maybe we'll
he
get batarang in the next movie.
He pulled it off and he like cut the wire and fell. But he used it one other time, I believe. But like, yeah, just like I was like, where he doesn't have batarangs. He's got that cool fucking like gauntlet thing where
that's why I think the notes come into play, and he's going to upgrade. He's going to come up with those ideas.
But I did think it was really cool that he took his emblem off and used it as like it was part of his utility belt. But no,
totally.
There is one thing I disliked in the film, and I can't get over it. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. But it's the close up of him when he's flying. I can't do it. That's the only part. I tried so hard, even the second time around. It's just the close up. It's just weird. I could do without that. I love seeing Batman just swoop by when you're like in a building with the Gothamites as he swoops by, and that's cool. But you can't find what looks cool with somebody flying. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, yeah, totally.
Man of Steel couldn't do that either. I can't see that happening for Superman. That's why I feel like a Superman movie is just never so good, because the flying aspect is so hard to capture for me.
Well,
I get that.
Superman Returns is the one where Brandon Routh was Superman. I mean, that movie was meant to be cheesy in the first place, because it was supposed to be the continuing of the original Superman movies. So, I mean, that was kind of meant to be cheesy. I think Man of Steel did well with it, because that had more of a serious tone. So I don't know. I see what you're saying, Josh. It's hard not to look goofy since real people can't fly. But I don't know. I think they did well with it. The cinematography of it was pretty good.
I accept it for what it is. It doesn't make me hate the film or anything, but it's that one scene where it's like, you know what? I could do without seeing that close up and still appreciate knowing that he's flying.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's definitely hard. It's hard to recreate it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next movie.
It's gonna be.
We'll see. It's gonna be great. But I think we should go ahead and wrap this up before we run out of time. So we are on that Zoom time limit. I want to thank DJ for coming on with us today and talking. We were super excited to have you on today. Thank you again. We can find you on TikTok, right?
Absolutely. always on TikTok. I'm always on Snap, so you can always find me there. I'll also be putting this on my TikTok, so I'm gonna be giving you guys a shout.
Hell yeah. And that's Little Miss DJ, right?
Yep, Little Miss DJ.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. And Josh, why don't you go ahead and send us out of here, bud?
All right. Well, you can always find us on the biggest thing that we're on social media wise, Instagram, Hero Podcast Official. You can find us on there. We got a link tree with all of our other websites, YouTube, Twitter, everything you can find us on is on that link tree. So make sure you follow us, hit us up, tell us what you like, what you dislike. Tell us that Dom looks like Tony Soprano's henchman that he pulled all the way from Italy for a couple of seasons. He looks exactly like him, plus the beard. You can tell
I'm
him
not going to
that.
sleep with your wife, though.
Give
Don't
him
worry.
the complex while you're at it. Yeah, Catwoman dream. Come up with your best ones. We want to hear them.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
could someone Photoshop Dom as Catwoman? That'd be great.
Please, I'm begging you. I want my face, hair, beard on the Catwoman suit with tits. That's all I want. I gotta have a nice
It'd
fat
be like
ass
Batman
too.
Forever with him trying to find the suit and the name.
Yeah.
Captain Kill. It'd
Captain
be like that.
Kill. Meow. I like your Riddler
Question like that?
reference there. No.
Well, here's another thing. Before we end, I got to say this one thing. The way when he finally got captured and the way he shakes his head reminded me so much of Jim Carrey at the end, where he's like, I'm Batman, and he starts, flapping his wings. It kind of reminded me of that way he played it off. So it's kind of like he found his own Riddler, but also kind of used a little bit of Jim Carrey at the same time.
Totally, I agree. Well, this has been fun, guys, and I look forward to the next one. It's gonna be a good one. Have a good one.
Later.